On this day in 1988, Celtic beat Rangers 2-1 at Ibrox to all but ensure the title in their Centenary season. As the business end of the Centenary season approached, Celtic secured a Scottish Cup semi-final place with a 3-0 victory over Partick Thistle at Firhill on the 12th of March, a week before the second visit of the season to Ibrox, while Rangers defeated Motherwell 1-0 at Fir Park to close the gap at the top. Jim Reynolds wrote in the Glasgow Herald of the 19th of March 1988, "Celtic lead their old rivals by 4 points with a game less played, so it is rather obvious that anything other than a victory for Rangers would see the Parkhead men take a giant stride towards the title. If Rangers do get that victory, then what was a comfortable cushion, with the knowledge that Celtic's game in hand is at Aberdeen, would become an uncomfortable seat for the men from the east end of the city." Rangers had gone out of the European Cup to Steaua Bucharest at the quarter-final stage in midweek, but apart from long-term injury victim Terry Butcher, they were at full strength and would welcome back Jan Bartram, Ian Ferguson and Mark Walters, who had all been ineligible to play in Romania. Celtic would be without the suspended Mick McCarthy and Peter Grant, but Lex Bailey had returned from injury with the reserves on the Thursday and was fit to play. Only one league match a season was televised live at that time, and for the second season in a row, a Celtic visit to Ibrox had been selected. So there was still a sense of novelty about the 2 p.m. Sunday kick-off for a match broadcast live on STV as Celtic lined up Bonner, Morris, White, Aitken, Bailey, Burns, Stark, McStay, McAvenny, Walker, Miller, subs, McGee, Rogan. The first half was quiet by the usual standards of the fixture, with Jim Reynolds reporting in the Glasgow Herald of the 21st of March 1988. "It was by no means a Sunday spectacular, rather a tame end-of-the-season affair, until the elegant Paul McStay put Celtic in front with a wonder goal after 67 minutes. Celtic came closest to opening the scoring in the first half with a 30-yard pile-driver from McStay that Chris Woods brilliantly turned over the bar. Rangers dominated the opening stages of the second half, and Pat Bonner made a brilliant save from a Ray Wilkins shot, turning it onto the top of the crossbar on 48 minutes. But as it progressed, Paul McStay gradually took control. Jim Reynolds wrote, "They certainly did have more of the ball, but Celtic had McStay. The internationalist graced the pitch as if he owned it and seldom put a foot wrong. His goal was merely the icing on the cake. It was a devastating individual performance, and one which proves just how much this young man has matured into arguably the country's best midfield player." The out-of-sorts Joe Miller was replaced by Anton Rogan on 64 minutes, and he was involved in McStay's opener 3 minutes later. Alex Cameron reported in the Daily Record of the 21st of March, "Changing Rogan for Miller was a masterstroke. He was also involved with a header in the first goal. In hectic penalty box play, Graham Roberts finally tried desperately to head the ball away, but it flew into the air and dropped to McStay. His left foot shot raged unsavably into Woods' goal." Celtic joy was short-lived as Rangers' new Danish fullback Jan Bartram, who would soon be on his way again after speaking his mind about Graham Souness in a hugely entertaining interview with a Danish newspaper a few weeks later, smashed a low 20-yard shot past Bonner on 74 minutes. A draw would have been an acceptable result, but this Celtic team were never likely to settle for that, and just 5 minutes later they were in front again. An in-swinging Tommy Burns corner was met by Anton Rogan, and his towering header flew goalwards. Whether on target or not, it was diverted into the net by Andy Walker, jumping to chest it past the keeper in mid-air. Now the Celtic fans celebrated as Rangers wilted and the final 10 minutes were played out comfortably, with that man McStay pulling the strings. No one at the club was yet prepared to declare victory in the title race. 9 points were still required from their final 8 games to make sure of it, but there were few in any doubt the league flag would fly at Celtic Park in August. Alan Davidson wrote in the Evening Times of the 21st of March 1988, "Paul McStay effectively drew the curtain on the chase for Scottish football's grandest prize with a performance of outstanding resolve and sheer talent. The late Bill Shankly used to say that great players owe more to breeding than coaching, and certainly this 23-year-old led convincing evidence in support of the theory. The irony is that the two managers, Graham Souness and Billy McNeill, sent out a collection of players who cost their respective clubs the best part of £9 million, only to find confirmation of the incalculable worth of a youth policy capable of discovering and nurturing young skills. McStay, of course, is exceptional, a point he underlined by controlling this last Old Firm match of the season and driving Celtic towards a 2-1 victory that confirms the Parkhead club as the sure and certain Premier League champions.